All right, cool. Hi, everyone. Carmen Disco here from Launch Network. We got a special show today, Made in America, Miss Christopher Guerrera. Hey, Chris, what's going on, man? You called me up and said, jump on the mic. Here I am.
Yeah, I got a special guest today. Really, we talk about Made in America. This guy is really made in America. Like for 20 years, been living and breathing in Made in America right in New York City.
Wow. Chris, can you hear us? Landano, Chris Landano.
What's up, guys?
What's happening, man? What are you doing?
There he is, baby.
Glad to be on, baby.
Firefighter. Made
Retired
in America.
He's retired.
Retired New York City. I'm rocking my FDNY sweater today. I figured, you know what? Let me rock it. It's a great, I love the sweater. But hey, guys, thanks for making time to let me jump on with you guys. I all your episodes. I follow you guys. You guys are kicking butt. I love it. I love what's happening with the UIA. I know there's a lot of exciting things coming on, and I'm so happy and honored to be working alongside you guys.
So let's talk about that for a second. So you said you're retiring, right? You're actually officially retired now. So 20 years, you've seen quite a bit. I know you were part of that 9/11, and I had family involved in that. So it was that's a 20 years in one industry is an accomplishment all by itself. But 20 years as a firefighter in New York City, to me, has a whole different view, a whole different element.
You know, it was such an honor to be a part of the New York City Fire Department. And, when 9/11 happened, it was within my first year of being involved with the fire department. And so, I got thrown right into it really early in my career. It was a great career. I learned a lot about New York City. I learned a lot about the people and how we respond to disasters. The New Yorkers really came together after 9/11. And I think we will come back together. Right now, there's a lot of things happening around the country. And I know eventually, we'll come together and things will get back to where they were. But it was an amazing career. I worked with the brave women in New York City, and I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss responding to 911 calls. I'm not gonna miss responding at 2:00 in the morning or 4:00 in the morning, fighting fires in 5 degrees or fighting fires in 100-degree weather. And any first responder, active or retired, knows what I'm talking about. But it was
Wow, that's unbelievable. Hey, Chris.
And I said, you know what? It's time to move on to the next chapter.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Carmine, I talk about this often about, Made in America, but when you got somebody who's been living that whole thing, it's kind of ironic how Chris and I met. I was actually in New York City. It's one of my favorite cities. And I was on Good Morning America. And I actually ran into Chris, who had his product on Good Morning America, his track belt 360. So we'll talk a little bit about that after, but he's been a big advocate, I know, with the United Inventors Association as an ambassador. He's a really good guy. I mean, it's like it's in his I guess it's in your bloodstream, Chris. It's your lifeline, right? Of helping people. And it seems like that I've known you for a while now, and that's how you've always been. You've always been first and foremost is helping people.
Yeah, you know what? No matter what I do in my life, I find myself gravitating towards helping people in need. I'm very active in my community. I'm a volunteer. I've sat on many nonprofit boards. I do a lot of community service, and that's how I got involved in the UIA. Right? I came up with an idea. I wanted to figure out if it was a valid idea, and I was going to my Inventor meetings in New York City, the Manhattan Inventors Club, which now I host it. It's funny how things work. I host the Manhattan and the Queens Inventors Clubs in New York City. But yeah, no, it's in helping people is in my DNA, to answer your question.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's talk about your belt a little bit now, right? So you've got this pretty cool belt, and maybe you can take us back to how you developed it. But it's, I joke about it when I first saw you on Good Morning America. I thought you had gone shopping to Kids R Us. because the belt looked like something that you just bought out of the toy section, right? Today, it is unbelievable, high grade, extremely professional. Man, it's something, you know, I own. It's just a really cool story how you invented it, and now you're making it in the USA, which just is, you know, for me is the final topping.
Yeah, you know, it's been quite a journey. Having never invented a product before, the process, the learning curve, you know, it's not something you could do overnight. You know, when I first got involved in the industry, I got involved by going to the United Inventor Association group clubs in New York City. Sorry, I say group clubs. The Manhattan Inventors Club in New York City, and that was the beginning of my invention journey. And I was going to that meeting every month, and I was learning as much as I could. I was doing my market research, right? I was going to the trade shows, trying to figure out who was my competition, what were they doing, were they making anything like that? And after about 5 years of going to trade shows and going to meetings, I got to the point where I said, all right, you know what? Let's do a patent search, and nothing came back. And over the years, I've hit probably every obstacle that inventor or entrepreneur can make. And it was the firefighter in me. It was the first responder in me that kept me fighting to fight through whatever obstacle or landmine I was digging myself out of. I mean, I have had so many problems with bringing this product to market, but fast forward to today. Yeah, Chris, you know what? When I first met you, it wasn't a fully developed product yet, but I've gotten to the point where I got it 100% made in America. I got some sales, and I've taken it to the point where I feel like it would be best suited if I could get a company to license it, because it's a very involved product. It's very labor intensive, and although I made it in America, it's very expensive to make here. But I'm very proud that I made it here, and you know, because of what I learned through the United Inventors Association and not getting scammed like many inventors have gotten scammed. And we'll talk, you know, let's go back into the scam conversation before we end this call, because I'm very passionate about that, about helping inventors not get scammed. But it's been an unbelievable experience with Track Belt 360, because that's how I met you guys, right?
Going to
trade shows.
I watched you for the last 7 years, so I watched it evolve, and that's, again, we talk a lot about that on our podcast. And we had Judy Edwards on yesterday from Squatty Potty, and you can just look at the evolution of that product line. It's not like an idea and it hits the retail shelf, right? Or it's not an idea that you then come up with packaging or a design, you prove out the concept, and it hits retail. There's a lot of involvement, and it's with everything. It's with the marketing, it's with the packaging, it's with the design, proof of concept, all of that. And I watched your product go through that entire process. It was pretty cool to where I finally saw the last version. And you remember my conversation to you. You said you finally got it. We finally got a product that looks like I want to spend $200 on and wear it around my waist. It's comfortable. It looks good. It fully functions the way it was designed, and the way, you know, you could have used it back in your story with 9/11, and how you know, your idea became a reality. It's just a great story, and it just adds, by having it made in USA and you being a New York firefighter. I mean, this is a great story. You talk about movies. This has, you know, a small movie that we could create from all of this. It's a pretty cool story.
And Chris wants a star in the movie, by the way. He wants to play you.
Yeah, I'll be the guy that gets steamrolled. I mean, that's, since you guys seem to like steamrolling me, I'm happy to take the stunt role there.
You know what? It's a great story in how the idea, my aha moment, right? Being a forensic photographer in a building, in a real life building collapse rescue, me being the forensic photographer, going in to photograph. And if you go to my website, right, Track Belt 360.
What was that again? Track TRAK belt360.com, right?
Yes, and you can go in and you can see the story about how track belt came to life.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So now, okay, you're retired. You've got a product. So what's the next step for Chris Landano, former and retired New York City firefighter?
Well, I'm recovering right now, as you guys know, from thyroid cancer surgery. My exposure down at the World Trade Center, which was pretty significant, and all my years of a firefighter, probably a combination. I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer in January of this year. And I am 3 weeks, actually about a month now, about 1 month cancer free. I feel great. And so I closed the door on one chapter of my life as a professional first responder. And I decided to take the leap into entrepreneurship. You know, the last 15 years I've been working on track belt. I've been making some unbelievable connections, and you guys add to those connections. And I feel confident in myself to take that leap. But also, part of the reason why track belt isn't out there already, and I'm not selling thousands of units, is because it was a part-time business, right? If you have a business and you believe in it, you got to go full-time into it. And so I hit a point as a firefighter where the fire department would, you know, I met the pension requirement. So I was able to walk away from the fire department with my pension. And what I've told some folks is I look at my job with the fire department and my pension as my first venture paying me royalties. That's my pension. My pension is my first venture. It was 20 years and it's paying me my royalties. And now I'm moving on to the next business.
Yeah. And I'll just give a teaser on the next business because we'll do another whole segment on that. But I mean, you yourself were scammed. And I have no other way to say it other than that because I know the story. And that's kind of perpetuating you into your next venture. And again, we're just going to tease it today because we'll do a whole show on it. But that's how I see your next venture.
Yeah. So the next venture. And you know what? It was mentioned in Warren Tuttle's great book, right? Inventor Confidential, written by Warren Tuttle, is one of the best books for an inventor or someone with an idea starting out. Hands down, Carmine, your book was pretty good. It comes close, you know.
Okay. No, I get it.
But I just finished reading your book too.
Did
Carmine.
you mean this book right here, Inventor Confidential? Can I see? Here we go.
Yeah, right there. That book right there. Right there. That was really an overview if you want to manufacture or you want to license and how to get to that point. And Carmine's book was great for someone who wanted to manufacture. And it was great, Carmine, because you had step by step, and it was great. I mean, it was basically a checklist. But Warren's book is great for someone just starting out.
Great.
It's definitely
it covers every step of the way. I love Warren's book. It works really.
And it covers it. He covered a section throughout that book on educating inventors and folks with ideas on how to avoid the scammers. And that hit home for me. When I was reading his book, I was like, wow, yes, I was there. And there's a lot of companies today that are robbing inventors. And inventors, I don't know if they're naive. I don't know if they feel bad to say something, but they're paying thousands of dollars to these coaching companies or these companies they see online, and they're getting hammered. They're getting hammered. So I was there. I fell victim, and I said, you know what? My 20 plus years as a rescuer, first responder, that's where I'm gravitating towards. I'm gravitating towards retiring and going full-time into that while trying to license track belt.
Yeah. And so that'll be, and we'll do another whole podcast on that. So people know how to contact you, where to find you online, and what the services will be. But let's talk about like we haven't been around that much. I mean, I haven't seen you that much. We've been locked in for more than a year, right? I think I did 3 trips last year and they were like, one was before the pandemic, and the other two were later in the year. One, obviously, one was Shark Tank, but when are we going to get together? I guess that's the real question. I've seen Carmine. I've been to Florida now a couple of times this year, but I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, he's probably gonna go check it out and see how he can
get some tickets or
arrange
something.
a trip down to sunny Greenville, South Carolina. That's what I'm thinking.
Is it nice?
Wait, hang on. Oh my God.
Hey, I also invented a time machine.
Hey, so you went down to visit that character. He's been looking for you for years.
I know, man. Listen, we have so much fun together, at the hardware show, or some, if we go to a Make 48 event or a UIA event. But we've been talking for like the last year and a half, and we're like, dude, we got to get together. And so I was like, after retirement, after my cancer surgery, I'm down there. So we've been hanging out, having a good time, brainstorming about some of the things happening in the future with the UIA, which is exciting. Inventor Rescue is the name of it. And we're working together on it, and everyone's involved. All the good guys are involved. And so it's exciting. It's exciting time.
So come on, I'll close it out like this today. I'm going to teach him this afternoon how to play golf.
Oh, okay? Lord.
I mean, he might think he knows, but after I show him, he's going to understand truly how to hit a golf ball.
He's going to need a rescue. Hey, real quick, and this is awesome that you guys are together. The UIA, both of you guys, we're behind you guys 100%. We think that what you're doing is so great and so needed in this industry, but also in the general industry. Just get the people believing in inventions and believing they can move forward. I appreciate everything that both of you guys are doing.
Well, thank you, Carmine. I appreciate everything you're doing as well. And there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up. That in our new webinar series, right? The educational series, we've got some incredible guests lined up, and I'm just going to tease them every week because I think it's important. But a lot of Shark Tank people, Good Morning America people, BMW folks. I mean, there's some high level caliber talent of people going from corporate America to entrepreneurship, and both starting from nothing, from an idea, and getting big time deals on Shark Tank. So pretty exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Chris, I know you
and a lot of great things. Sorry, Carmine.
No,
a lot of great things happening with the UIA, right? We've got great around the country where we're having some events going on with the UIA. And, the UIA has a piece in my heart, because if it wasn't for my club in New York City and all the information I learned, I would have been forced to deal with some of these bad companies.
Yeah. And that's why we're really getting out there with the UIA, just like us, just like the world after this pandemic is going through a transition, and we're going to be out there. UIA is going to be really hitting the bricks, and it's awesome to have, people like yourselves. And we have some great clubs, some great members, some great ambassadors that are going to be coming on board. It's not only going to be very informative and helpful, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And that's the key, is having some fun and helping everybody out. And really, and UIA is nonprofit, as everybody knows, and all of the services that we offer are free. So pretty exciting stuff.
Hey, Chris, now that you retired, and being a fireman in New York City, probably, and without insulting any of the other firemen out in the world, got to be one of the toughest jobs, of any fire job or anyone in the nation. Tell us, is there any little secret you can tell? I mean, we see the TV shows and we see New York firemen and we see shows and movies. I mean, what's it like? Is there any little tidbits you could give? You were there, man. You lived it.
Those TV shows, most firefighters, first responders, we don't watch any of those TV shows because it is pure Hollywood. I've tried to watch them, but it's just not. First responders are special people. Right? We don't look at ourselves as heroes, but cop, firemen, we do that job because it's in our blood. We genuinely want to help people. We don't do it for the money. So all I could say is, you know what? You see a cop, you see a first responder, especially in days like this. It's really hard for active, retired first responders to see what's going on in our country right now, right? But I'm not getting into the politics. These folks leave their families to go serve you, the residents of this great country. So if you see a cop, if you see a fireman, say thank you. It means a lot. In New York City, we'd have people tell us all the time when we were out, thank you. And, it helps. It goes a long way. So that's
awesome.
They're special folks. They're special people. So
I agree. Hey, is it true that there's like a fire burning in New York City all the time? There's a fire somewhere?
Absolutely. New York City is a huge city. There's millions of people in a very condensed populated area. So yeah, there are fires going all the time. And
wow.
one of the tips we try to tell folks is smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors, change your batteries every 6 months. And if there's a fire and you have the chance, close the door behind you. Very important.
Wow. See that? Chris, this is not only an educational show, but now it's a safety show. We're helping people.
Absolutely. And I feel like today I'm going to help Chris personally by whooping up on him in golf. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh man, you know what? We're gonna record this. We're gonna record it because I'm a very quick learner.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine. True story. A friend of mine that could not beat me in basketball. I'll share the link. He'll know who he is. He went to college. He was practicing tennis for like 6 months.
Wow.
I never played tennis in my life. He put me on the court thinking he was gonna kick my butt. He couldn't beat me. Well, I pick up sports quick.
Well, I'm telling you, that's not going to happen today, okay? I'm just being straight up. It's not happening today.
Well, I want to see some live updates from the course on Facebook, some live updates.
Yeah, Brandy will be filming. Don't worry.
All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you so much for not only coming on the show today, but everything you guys do. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. We are going to be out here and we'll be giving out some more information, some more education, some more knowledge to our listeners, our viewers. They're very grateful. We get emails and keep those emails coming. Keep letting us know how we're doing. We certainly appreciate it. For Mr. Christopher Landano, thank you very much. For Christopher Guerrera, thank you. And we'll catch you next time on Made in America. You all take care.